Now for the all-important body. As you can see, this is a double cutaway, and those long extended horns turned out really nicely, I think. What we did on the top is we put an exotic piece of quilted maple over that, and as you'll learn, this is just an overlay. Okay, it's only about a 1/16 of an inch thick, and there was a real reason for that, which you'll learn in a second. The back has an overlay that's mahogany. Now, natto is sort of a little bit hard to pin down. To my ear, it sounds sort of like a cross between mahogany and alder because of the grain. The grain on natto is not quite as open as mahogany, but I'm sure there are people that will disagree with this, and please feel free to send us your thoughts, but that's the sense I get. The body itself is a carved arch top, and it's sort of like what I refer to as a violin arch, in that you have that crown there, and then the low point actually dips a bit below the top edge of the binding, and if you laid it flat, you could put some water in there and it would hold. And of course, it's a beautiful look, and it's a very traditional thing if you think of violins and cellos have that kind of treatment. But there's a much more important reason for it from a performance standpoint. That arch puts additional mass underneath the bridge and makes that body even more dense and more, I should say, less likely to drag energy off the string. So it really does improve performance. The body itself is about 1 7/8 inch thick from the back of the back edge of the binding to the top edge. Now, this type of guitar, you'll see bodies as thick as 2 inches sometimes, and probably 1 3/4 is typical. One very famous American company goes about 1 5/8. And with that situation, you get that mass in the middle for string performance, but that thinness on the edge will kick back in a little bit of resonance. And that's great for those guitars, but we wanted performance. We wanted that energy to stay on the string, so we went with the 1 7/8. We decided to use a 5-ply reverse black binding, and the reason for this, obviously, is it just ties in with the rest of the aesthetics. That black edge with the 2 fine white lines just really makes it defined, makes it really crisp, and we just love the white piping on the edge and on the back rather. And I don't know if you can get in with the camera, but again, that white piping continues right around the heel and just gives a really crisp look. The binding, of course, protects the edge of the guitar, which is one thing, but it really helps to define the geometry. And I have to say, when I spec this out, because of the length of these horns, because of the severity of that point, as I was making the spec, I thought to myself, the factory's not actually going to be able to do this. I was expecting a call to say, rethink the binding. Well, as it turns out, they did it, and that mitered 5-ply binding is just remarkable. I just didn't think it was possible. And finally, the finish, which is important too. This is a poly finish, a polyurethane, and it just gives a tremendous luster, a tremendous depth to the look. It is durable from the standpoint of it will take a lot of abuse, and it just gives the guitar a great finish depth and a great professional look.